Hi everybody, and welcome into Studio 6 for a brand new edition of Cronkite Sports Live. He's Riley Swenson, I'm Ben Paris. Riley, it was one of the busiest news weeks of the year. Ray Anderson's gone, ASU football wins the game, but what might have gone over the radar the most is that ASU triathlon is an absolute dynasty.
Oh, they absolutely are, Ben. It seems like ASU athletics, everyone in there, they go up, they go down. The triathlon team, they stay right there. Consistency is their model. It's just so fun to watch them do their thing year in and year out.
And for ASU football, a little bit of a weird victory. They ran the swinging game for almost the majority of the first half, and it looked a little weird, but if you're Kenny Dillingham, that was the plan.
And then we saw one clip of that. I said, well, worst we can do is line up in it once, and if they do it, then we don't got to block their fire-breathing dragons. So let's just see if it works. And that was the process. Was as simple as that. It's not rocket science. It's not even rocket surgery.
Okay,
right?
Hear me out for a second. Tomorrow morning, SpaceX is scheduled to launch a test flight for the most powerful rocket ever built, which made me think, even though Kenny Dillingham said coming up with his unique and creative game plan against UCLA wasn't rocket science, it actually might have been more similar than he thinks. I took a deeper look into outer space for this edition of CSL Sports Science.
9, ignition sequence start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running.
First, let's make this make just a little bit of sense by checking in with Minnesota Vikings quarterback Josh Dobbs, who's been dubbed the Pastronaut thanks to his aerospace engineering degree he got at the University of Tennessee. Dobbs said football and rocket science are alike because both deal with the problem-solving and critical thinking skills to help solve the problems that teams are faced with. Dillingham knew the UCLA defensive line would cause problems for the ASU offense in Trenton Bourget, who got banged up against Utah. So what did he do? He took them out of the equation and created something unconventional. Just like the time Apollo 13 astronauts had to use duct tape to make sure they had enough air to survive. It was weird, but it got the job done. Arizona State put 3 players under center against UCLA, and all of them had to know the mission plan in order to score touchdowns.
Main gear touchdown. Pilot Jim Dutton now deploying the drag chute.
No, these types of touchdowns.
Scadaboo on the roll, sets his feet and delivers. Goal line end zone, Badger! Touchdown ASU!
Just look at Cameron Scadaboo, who has passed for, run for, and caught for a touchdown this season. His versatility would make for a great astronaut, and I think he would fit in just fine within the confines of a rocket ship. Kenny Dillingham didn't just put out random players in random places in Pasadena, even though it may have looked like it.
But like it's sound. Like it looks goofy and unique and different, but we didn't just go out there and run something that wasn't sound. It's just different.
Just like any key spaceflight, Kenny's plan was well tested and, as he said, was sound. He didn't just make some rocket like you do in your backyard. This one was state-of-the-art and was able to handle the gravity of the situation against a top 10 defense. Kenny didn't activate his launch abort system, and maybe he's just a little bit more of a rocket man than he may think. Some parallels between that game and the one coming up tomorrow for ASU as number 6 Oregon comes to town yet again. And to help us get ready, we welcome in WCSN football reporter Blake Neiman. And Blake, a year ago, Kenny Dillingham was calling plays for Oregon. Now he's calling them for ASU. But while as a member of the Ducks, he had quite the relationship with quarterback Bo Nix. What are the two sides saying as they get ready to reunite tomorrow?
Yeah, when asked on Monday about his...
And the Oregon offensives have allowed their quarterbacks to succeed because they've been so creative. Kenny Dillingham was, once again, a part of that last season. How creative is the offense this year? Is it still rolling without Dillingham?
Well, Dillingham said it himself. It's even...
And he said they can't eliminate all of the weapons. They can only hope to contain some of them. Oregon is on the outside looking in. They're number 6 in the college football playoff ranking. What is at stake for them and for ASU, who's playing their final Pac-12 opponent that won't join them in the Big 12 next year?
Yeah, certainly a lot to play for both sides.
All right, Blake, thank you very much. A 2 p.m. kickoff in Tempe tomorrow. So after their weekend split with Denver, where ASU went 4 for 6 on the power play, the Sun Devils now own the 8th best power play unit in the country with a 27.7% conversion rate. To break down the Sun Devils' special team success, here's Gabby Chernoff. It was quite the impressive effort to overcome an 11-point deficit with less than 3 minutes left last night, and the Sun Devils' 16 forced turnovers in the second half was a big help. We now welcome in men's basketball reporter Justin Lacertosa. And Justin, through just 3 games this season, the Sun Devils have clearly found their identity on the defensive end of the floor. What has ignited that spark into this Arizona State defense?
Well, Ben, although it's...
And despite the early defensive success, it hasn't been all sunshine and rainbows for the Sun Devils at the offensive end of the floor. What has been the catalyst to this slow start offensively, just like they had last year?
Well, Coach Hurley...
So, Justin, what can the Sun Devils do to improve offensively after that slow start that you just mentioned?
Well, this is a group that just...
All right, Justin, thank you very much as they get ready to head off to Las Vegas. Arizona State men's swim and dive remained in the #1 spot in the nation in the November rankings published by the College Swimming and Diving Coaches Association of America on Thursday afternoon, and some of the Sun Devil swimmers are still just trying to settle in. For more on a world champion swimmer who's been focused on overcoming struggles this fall, we check in with Justin Carter.
It's no together at the right moment.
You can catch the rest of that feature with Sam Goodman on the Cronkite Sports YouTube page. And sticking with some news from some former Sun Devils, former Arizona State baseball coach Pat Murphy was officially named as the new head coach of the Milwaukee Brewers on Wednesday morning, and what will be his second stint as an MLB manager. Murphy was ASU skipper from 1995 to 2009 and led the program to 4 Pac-12 championship titles and 11 postseason appearances. He was also responsible for recruiting then coaching now ASU head coach Willie Bloomquist from 1997 through 1999. Under Murphy, ASU spent 100 weeks in a row in the top 25 poll and set an NCAA record of 506 consecutive games without being shut out. Murphy departed the program in November 2009 after he was reportedly given an ultimatum of resign or be fired amid an NCAA investigation. His newest promotion on the Brew Crew comes after he spent 8 years as Milwaukee's bench coach. 10 months ago, Ray Anderson told a reporter on this very show that when it was all said and done for him at Arizona State, he wanted his legacy to go down that he left the ASU athletic department than a better place than he found it. And objectively speaking, he did very that. In the last decade as ASU athletic director, Anderson helped the university expand to 26 varsity sports and even donated $1 million of his own dollars to help bring back the men's tennis program that was discontinued in 2008. He oversaw the final phase of renovations and secured the naming rights for Mountain America Stadium and the entire process of helping the hockey team elevate from a club team to a full-fledged NCAA Division I program with a brand new state-of-the-art arena. Anderson made hires that combined for 16 Pac-12 Coach of the Year recognitions and helped ASU achieve the highest academic progress rating in the Pac-12 ahead of Cal and Stanford. The rise and fall of Herm Edwards' and NCAA investigation will be on his record forever. And while it made a large impact on ASU, it was not the only impact Anderson made. Kenny Dillingham said earlier this week to remember that positions like coaches and athletic director are process-driven for those who have those jobs, but are results-driven hobbies for everybody else watching. Edwards left the athletic department in a better place than he found it almost 10 years ago, but now it's time for the next AD at Arizona State to bring the department into the next era of college sports. And that's the way it is. I like it, Riley. At number 4, we go to ASU's final road game in the Pac-12, and that's Cam Scattaboo dropping back to pass. It's an absolute laser to Eliza Badger with under 2 minutes to go in the third and gave the Sun Devils a 10-0 lead. They go on to win against UCLA. At number 2, some more ASU basketball. It's Frankie Collins going coast to coast. He goes up and under and gets it to go. The game-winning shot. Another day, another win for the Devils.
In overtime, unfortunately, Ben, that's all the time we have for today. It feels like it was a pretty small show, but if you stuck with us for that marathon, we thank you. A lot of news coming out. ASU basketball with the win. Ray Anderson resigns, and of course, the McRib is back, Ben, and that's a rejoice for all of us. For all of us here at CSL, everyone behind the scenes, I'm Riley Swenson. That's Ben Paris. We'll see you next time.